The Chiefs and the Chargers went back and forth in the first half on Sunday afternoon, much like these games always seem to go. But in the second half, it was Kansas City that ultimately pulled away a 31-17. Can we call it a statement win? 400 yards and 4 touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes in this one. Chris Clark from Locked On Chiefs joins me now. And Chris, I mentioned these games always seem to be fun, but Patrick Mahomes, when he starts, the Chiefs are 7-2 against the Chargers in his career. Is this a rivalry in name only right now?
It sure seems like it. Although the Chargers always seem to play the Chiefs very close, so having a 2-score win in this game felt really good. And don't forget, Travis Kelce almost had 180 yards himself and was well over 100 yards in the first half.
And Travis Kelce right now, the only guy Patrick Mahomes can count on in this receiver room. And so the fact that the Chargers couldn't stop him, pretty telling, not just about how bad their defense is, but also how great Travis Kelce is. And you know who, Taylor Swift in the audience, to witness all of it. Mahomes has been a little un-Mahomesian at times so far this season. It seems like from the outside that some of the lack of faith of those receivers is showing up. He looked as comfortable as he's looked all season in this one. What do you think was the difference for him?
I think he just went out there and played his third straight game having a 75% or higher completion percentage. Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous, especially when you're throwing the ball 40 times in a game, which he's been doing most of the time in the past 3 games. And then not only that, but 10.1 yards per attempt today. That's phenomenal. And yeah, don't get me wrong, there's some big yak plays in there. But it's still hitting receivers when they're wide open and giving them a chance to, make the yards after the catch. I mean, he looked really good today, and he took advantage of what was there when it was there. And, the interception, say what you want about it. I mean, he's getting hit as he throws the ball up, and it's going to end up short. So it is what it is at that point.
The running game did not get going in this one against a very bad run defense for the LA Chargers. 21 carries, 68 yards. 4 of them were Patrick Mahomes scrambles. He remains awesome as a scrambler in this one. So is this a sustainable way of playing offense for the Chiefs, given some of the limitations I mentioned at receiver?
I think it'll be sustainable. I think that you're going to see some games where they don't have great against the running game or in the running game, but I think you're going to also see games where Pacheco runs for close to 100 yards and maybe McKinnon's going to get involved. Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't really seem to be doing much when it comes to being in the game offensively, so not really sure why they continue going to that route unless they're just trying to get him snaps to keep the other running backs fresh. But I think you're going to see Pacheco's had some good games. This isn't one of his better games, and I think you take it with what it is, and you look at how the passing game was going. I think that they just focused on doing what they knew they could do very well, and just pass the ball all over the field. 400 yards is not something Mahomes has done a ton, especially not this year. I think this is his second or third game going over 300. So not really where he was last year, but I think you got to feel pretty good about it going for 424.
Holding Justin Herbert and this LA Chargers team to just 17 points. This Kansas City defense, I think, has had an underrated season overall. And other than Chris Jones, it's kind of a no-name defense in a lot of ways. So how are they able to do this?
Well, you look at the guys they've drafted. Charles Minihue is a free agent from this year, but you go back and look at, and he had a fantastic game coming back from suspension today. But you look at, George Karlaftis, he had a sack early in the game. FAU is another one that they drafted this year. He didn't get any real pressure this week, but he's been a guy that's trying, they're trying to get him to come on. Chris Jones is making, the space for other guys to get after the quarterback. They ended up getting 5 or 6 sacks in this game. 2 of them were by linebackers that had clean shots at the quarterback with nobody blocking them, with Tranquil and Gay having huge sacks for big losses. It's, Spagnuolo is being able to dial the pressure when he needs to. And otherwise, the defensive line is getting after the quarterback by themselves.